Welcome to your only point of call on matters public policy, business, and economic analysis here in Kenya. That is Business Glide Show. I'm yours truly, Richard Monjo. Welcome to the conversation. Allow me introduce the gentleman who's going to help me bring the day's conversation home. Is none other than Kenya's most sought-after political analyst and a renowned public scholar, the fine man, Herman Manyora. How are you doing today?
Good.
You still in this town?
Of course. We are here for a while.
Gen Z find you
We
all
are
the
now the
guts
Gen Zs.
to be an insult to their struggle. They want you to retire to the village.
No, we are the Gen Zs.
Really?
Yeah. It's about state of mind. It's not about age, not about body size. It's about state of mind.
Higher ideals than just age-wise.
I'm Gen Z in my thinking and beyond. Yeah.
Very well, that off the way, let's go straight to the day's conversation. And how about we begin the latest development in terms of appointments to big parastatals in this country and government agencies. We've seen the High Court of Kenya revoke the appointment of KRA chairperson Bwana Anthony Mwaura. The backing of the court was that he has public trust issues and there are corruption charges leveled against him during his appointment period. And it begs the question, are we really at a time as a country whereby we are now seeing state officers first being beyond reproach before we appoint them to offices?
That should be where we are, but you know, this is just one judge. Judge Mombi did it some times back and nobody took it up again. She was a lonely person. I mean, she was a lonely voice in the judiciary about the bar. And she made it very clear, and this other judge I think has followed the same, that when it comes to matters of integrity, the bar is not as high as that for criminal culpability. And therefore you cannot argue that until a criminal case is exhausted, somebody will continue serving. No. Like Caesar's wife, public servants must be beyond reproach. And mere suspicion should be enough for you to step aside.
That should be the cardinal rule?
That's a bar. Judge Mombi did it, and this judge has done it, and that's the way it is. It cannot be in any other way. Because if you are accused of murder or rape, as we have seen, and you are being vetted for cabinet, and the parliament is saying you are fit, and you become a cabinet secretary, ostensibly until the case is over, what kind of country are we living in? What country is that? Where is it done like that? So you cannot be in court over murder or rape, and you are still serving as a minister or as a cabinet secretary or principal secretary. It's not possible.
So then it begs the question, we saw his appointment was, of course, he was appointed by President William Ruto, and now the courts have revoked that particular appointment. So does this leave an egg on the face of the president?
No, it's just reminding the president that let's do things differently. That's all. Yeah. Going forward, let's do things differently. Yeah.
Still on matters to do with the judiciary, we have also seen the Social Health Insurance Fund being termed unconstitutional by the High Court of Kenya. And there are quarters allied to the president who say the judiciary is being used by political forces to stand in the way of their vision. Do you subscribe to such an argument?
One, I do not support the judiciary in stopping government from doing its things. Why?
You tell me.
Because it never comes to anything. You stop people, waste time, and then when the matter comes, you again revert to the... So what are you exactly doing?
On SHIF, you're not confident that this is at least...
No, I'm not on the substance. I'm speaking in a general way.
Perspective.
The government wants to do something, you stop it. A lot of money and time is wasted. Then when the matter now appears for hearing or for judgment, you revert back, tell the government go on. They don't even have the courage.
Really?
They don't have, the judicial doesn't have the courage. They just say this, and in 3-6 months, they side with the government. They don't have the courage, even when the government is wrong. Now there's a substance of shift. Two things. Number one, I'm not seeing anything that is making us move from NHIF to SHIF. It's not convincing.
Health reforms, you don't read
There is nothing that NHIF could not have done. There is nothing.
The argument is that SHIF will bring on board inclusion.
Who told them you could not bring inclusion when it was NHIF? I'm not convinced, and I'm not saying I'm very intelligent, but I think I'm intelligent enough to see something.
So should
SHIF is not introducing nothing new. that could not be handled under NHIF. Nothing. Instead, it is creating loopholes for people to eat money. But that besides the point. Let me say the second thing. The second thing is, which is a bigger thing. This country is living a big, big lie.
How?
If you want to promote health in the country, because a healthy nation is a working nation, you cannot develop if the people are not healthy. So you need to have a functional health care system. Looking at the state of this country in its totality, socioeconomic, cultural, political, and everything, just look at Kenya in total. Kenyans cannot afford to pay for health. They cannot afford to pay for health. What is worse, even the so-called 200, 300, or 500 shillings, there are many Kenyans who cannot pay. Because you are asking somebody to pay what you consider to be too little, 300, and the person has not eaten for a week because he can't afford 20 shillings. So there are many Kenyans, genuinely, forget about the others who may not pay for one or two other reasons, ulevi, nini, ignorance, but there are millions of Kenyans who cannot raise 300 shillings genuinely. So what am I trying to get at? I'm saying this country has only one option: to provide free, quality health care to its citizens.
Even with the constrained fiscal space you're having?
I'm telling you, that's the only way. There's no constrained fiscal space. The money they are spending on health today is almost enough. Let me tell you what we are doing. We are doing what countries like America are doing, where the country... Let me ask you a question.
You do.
Do you know a country called the United States of America?
Sure.
You know it?
Sure.
Without giving the figures, you are an economist, but without giving the figures, do you know how much in billions of US dollars, if not trillions, America is able to use hitting rocks in Afghanistan? Just hitting rocks. Do you know how much money in terms of US dollars America is spending on its allies, supporting allies? Therefore, I want to ask you the last question. Would it be difficult for America to give every American citizen free health care? Would it be difficult?
No.
Do they give? They don't. They don't give free health care.
But subsidized healthcare?
No, they don't. Why? Obamacare tried something. Why?
That is what I was pointing
Why? It is a capitalist mindset. The big players in the healthcare industry must make their money. The pharmaceutical, the big pharma.
Merchants in the healthcare?
Yes, must make their money. And that's why America cannot give free healthcare. Not because they can't afford. So that's the game we are trying to play here.
You have the capacity.
Unfortunately, the citizens of this country cannot afford healthcare. Americans can afford healthcare. They can afford insurance. Kenyans cannot afford healthcare. And what is the result? Communicable diseases will be a strain to the country. We will have an unhealthy workforce in the country. Lifelong diseases will finish people in this country. Families will be impoverished, will be made poor. I don't know that pronunciation. Please.
Impoverish.
My wife keeps listening and she tells me, speak good English. You used to know English. Sometimes when you are thinking and speaking, there's a problem. Kenyans are selling off everything they have to take care of their loved ones suffering from cancer and other things. We cannot go in that direction. Money that should be made for development, to grow the economy, because when you have money in your pocket, you spend it in the economy. The economy grows. That money is going to health. Money that parents should be spending on their children, they are spending on health.
Sure.
We are net loser. And therefore, this country must provide free health care. To answer your concerns, rather. At independence, we inherited King George Hospital, currently Kenyatta National Hospital. I think we had Mathare Hospital and I think others. Along the lines, we have come up, we had provincial hospitals, district hospitals, sub-district hospitals,
Sub-county.
health centers in almost every location. I'm telling you, when we are becoming independent, yeah,
They were there?
yes, and some of which were built by Kenyatta and later by Moi, by way of Nyayo, what they are called Nyayo wards and what have you. So what am I saying? I'm saying this. We have the requisite infrastructure.
The basic infrastructure?
Yes, for health we have. Few countries have what we have.
So what's the missing link?
The missing link is we only need healthcare workers, doctors, nurses, clinical officers, all laboratory, all those people. Well trained, well paid.
That is the rider.
That's what we need. And then we need to have a system that supplies drugs without satisfying people's greed.
That's why KEMSA is there.
KEMSA is a conduit for eating. Something we can use to ensure drugs reach and they are bought at affordable prices. Finally, we should be able to manufacture over 60% or so of the drugs we require in this country for our hospitals.
Less imports from India?
A lot of money we use to export drugs goes on things we can cough syrup, painkiller. Those are things we can just do. We don't have a problem. When you look at some of the bottles of the cough syrup you have, they are coming from countries you can't even pronounce. Just stands, what? Countries you can't even place on the map.
Does Kenya have the requisite research capacity to do so?
More. We have more than those countries. Today we can get up to 80% of the requirements of I've looked at it, I've read around. Even Kenya Kwanza manifesto, the Ruto manifesto or the plan, talks of pushing pharmaceutical production to a certain level because they know it is possible. So we move in that direction. And of course, we stop theft. But I started by saying, the money we set aside for health today, the money we set aside for health is enough to do what I'm saying. Even before you add, it's enough.
Without dependence on non-state actors, NGOs, yes. Donor funding?
We don't need those ones. We don't need any donor funding.
We can run our programs without them?
Yes, we have enough money. We have enough money. But what we don't have is enough money for people's greed. We don't have enough money for thieves. But we have enough money to provide quality, free, let us start again. Free, quality health care to every Kenyan, where you just walk into a hospital in this country and all you need is identification that you are a Kenyan and you get treated. Quality. What do I mean by quality? I mean that these so-called private clinics will all die. There will not be one. None will be there. Why would you go for a clinic that doesn't have a qualified doctor when qualified doctors are in a hospital and they are free and there's no queue? Because we have enough. We just provide the doctors and they are there also. Look, we are better than many countries. We don't need to look for doctors. We have more than we need. We have more nurses than we need. They are just there, they are not employed. And the hospitals are there. The physical infrastructure is there. So we need very little effort to give free health care. So that the only private health providers will be for those people who are so rich, they don't want to go to Kakamega General Hospital.
To mingle with the...
Yeah, they just go to Aga Khan Kisumu. They go to Nairobi Hospital. They go to Gertrude Children's Hospital. They go to Mpisha. Those, we leave those ones. Let them go to those hospitals.
Because they are spoiled for choice.
But even them, they will find, occasionally they are in Kenyatta National Hospital. Occasionally. They will be in Kiambu and instead of driving with a jam to go to Nairobi Hospital, they will just go to Kiambu County Hospital. Because it will be good enough.
Some will deliver up Pumwani maternity?
I want to see a situation where a minister's wife delivers from Pumwani.
Not London.
We can do it.
We can?
We can do it.
Cancer being treated from here, not India?
Let me tell you, only a few years ago, even me, I thought putting up a renal unit was so expensive. I was shocked when I saw the figures.
Dialysis, you can do it here.
But we have discovered it's just a normal thing. All these kinds of things. Now there are cancer centers all over the country. Why? We thought, people made us think it was so difficult. An MRI machine was like, you can't buy. Yes, it can be done.
So should your vision come through, we'll see public facilities giving Nairobi Hospital a run for their money.
That's
the
how
optics of this
that's
world.
that's how it should be.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So that even them now, they also up their game. So as a premier private hospital, current hospital, Nairobi Hospital, the rest of this hospital, they must, as the government ups its game, they will also, because private hospitals may also not be offering the best because they know they have no competition. So if we improve government hospitals, we are in a sense improving premier private hospitals to give the best service you can get anywhere in the world.
A few weeks ago, we saw medical interns camp vigil at Afia House.
Yes.
They want the government to absorb them into the government-funded internship. So should your vision come to the full reality,
yes,
Kenya can afford not having doctors on the street?
No. Why should we have doctors on the streets? These are our A students. This is our A. And Gen Z is saying employ interns. How much money is it? By the way, the money you need to pay interns is perhaps the same money you give the president for entertainment at State House.
Maybe the silver bullet.
The Minister of Health spends more money on luxuries, on unnecessary trips overseas and internal, Naivasha, Mombasa, on per diem, on flowers in the office, on tea, than it needs more money than you need to pay interns.
Now,
On flowers, tea, and the travel to overseas to do nothing. The money the Minister of Health is spending on that is more than it needs to pay interns.
State-sponsored opulence?
Yes. So let us just be serious, people. That's all.
There you have it. That point takes us to the wrap of today's conversation, discussing a cocktail of issues in the world of business. Time now for Fan of the Week. It is none other than this amazing lady, Irene Mugo, watching us all the time from Nairobi here. Irene Mugo.
Irene Mugo, thank you very much for being part of this family. We appreciate you.
Asante sana. Up next on your screen is the Business Glide African Proverb of the Day.